So hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about C++. The remaining topic of C++ language. Okay. Basically, in my previous video, I have already shared some sorts of the stuff like keyword, variable, and there are many more other things that I have already covered in my previous video. So, if someone who is watching this video, so further check the further videos for that. Okay. Okay, and then let's start this video. So basically, the motto, the purpose of the video is first, let me give an introduction overview of this video. Okay, so in my previous video, I have already discussed about the introduction, identify keyword, variable, data type. Okay, and over there we have solved a lot of questions. Okay, based on this topic, and the okay, and operator we have already covered the operator as well. Like operator, if I talk about operator, we have covered. Okay, and then some sorts of examples we have already solved the operator for the operator ones. Okay, and then we have conditional statement. I think I have made the video for the conditional. Yeah, I didn't even uploaded the video, but yeah, conditional statement is already covered. In my previous video, I have shared some sort of the knowledge about the function, recursion, parameter passing, default argument, what is exactly. Okay, a default argument I have already covered in the constructor video as well as in the function. Okay, recursion. So in this video we will be discussing about inline function, lambda expression, and then we'll be solving also some sort of a question based on this topic. Okay, so don't worry at all. This video is kind of a little bit lengthy. It's approximately 40 or 50-minute video. You can consider like. Okay. Also, we'll be discussing about the compound data type, compound or derived data type. It's a very important topic. Okay, this topic is for. This is very important topic. Okay, so we'll be discussing this topic in our later on videos. Okay, so the motto of this video is inline function, lambda expression. Okay, so first I refresh the page and then I'll start the video. Okay, so first open the compiler. So we have this compiler, C++ language. Okay, you can use any other compiler as well. Okay, so we have C++ compiler. Yeah, basically I use this one. You can use VS Code or any other online compiler. If you feel comfortable, you can go with it your own compiler as well. Some people use code, C++ code, and while other people don't. Okay, so basically let's try to understand what is exactly the C++ programming language is. This is not introductory video. Okay, I have already covered the introduction in my later on videos. So in this video I'm not going to cover the introduction. Okay, rather I'm going to cover this both topic, inline function and lambda expression. So inline functions are really important. In the inline function, what happened is inline means a single line. You have just like a single line. You don't need to define and declare the function in the different lines. Like if I take an example, let me open the notepad over here. Close this tab, this tab. This is not worthy anymore. Okay, let me open the notepad. Okay, and then I'll try to explain you what is exactly inline means. Okay, let's close this one. Okay, Control plus. Okay, so basically what does inline function means? Okay, now you're thinking what does inline means? Inline function means a single line function. That means if I talk about the syntax, let me give an overview. Okay, this is the function. What is function is? Function is a block of code that does some specific task whenever we call it. Okay, so this is the definition of a function. Okay, this is the definition of a function. What we exactly do in a function, this is quite differ from that. Okay, a block of code, let me write down a little bit about function. A block of code that do some specific task while we call it. Now you might be thinking, okay, I can understand this is a block of code, nothing else. Like a block of code, we have such blocks. Like if I talk about the syntax of function, we have return type, we have return type, then we have function name. Okay, in the bracket what we have? We have a parameter. Okay, parameter. Yeah, parameters. So parameters can be, you can give different parameters by separating commas. Okay, so this is the syntax of defining any function. So this function is also called as a signature. What happened in the signature? In the signature, you basically, what you do is, you just, one minute, you just declare function. You just declare function. Okay, this is not initialization. That means I've already told about this topic in my earlier videos. Okay, that this is the declaration of function. That doesn't mean that you have defined that function. No, this is no definition. Definition of function is, you write some sorts of stuff. I mean, if I let's suppose I am writing this one. Okay, let's suppose I'm writing para here. So in this bracket, like curly braces, this is called a block, and in this block you write some sorts of expression, some sorts of code, some sorts of conditions, anything you can write as per your requirement. Okay, so this is what exactly called the definition of a function. That means you define something in your function. Okay, like I write, suppose my name is Sakshi, so I'm writing Sakshi Verma. Okay, you can write down your own name, and then we use handle. Okay, so this is why this is how exactly our function definition works. Okay, so it's pretty obvious. It totally depends on you whether you want to declare and define your function at the same time, or you can, I mean, you want to define after main function. Okay, so it's totally depend on yourself what you want to do. Okay, so this is the revision actually that I have already mentioned in my previous videos. Okay, so I'm just telling you the inline function, how it is different from the default function as we generally use. Okay, so basically for that we have to, okay, one minute, one thing that I missed, so sorry for that, my bad. Okay, this is also called, one minute, this is comment, right? In the C++, whenever you use two backslashes, that is considered as a comment. Okay, so basically I'm writing here is nothing signature. Okay, this is also called function declaration. Function declaration is also called as a signature. Okay, function declaration called as a signature, and whenever you define your own function while declaring, that doesn't call a signature. So this is the quick you can say major important thing about the default parameter, default function. Okay, so after that we'll be discussing about how it is different from the inline function. So in the inline function, what happened is, we have a single line. Okay, we have a single line where we declare a function, where we define our function. So let's try to understand the definition first, because definition is something that you have to know. Okay, before deep diving into any topic, doesn't matter what is it is. Okay, so basically let's understand the definition first. Okay, so inline function in C++. An inline function is a function. Yeah, I know it's a function. It's a pretty obvious, right? Whose code is expanded at the point to call at compile time. It reduces function call overhead. The inline keyword suggests replacing the function call. Okay, I mean, you don't need to call the function. It's we don't use this because most of the programmers are not familiar with this function. So also it doesn't feel that much good, because initialization, I mean, if you are really making something, then you have to first thing you have to declare all the functions. First you declare, and then you call in the main, and then define. This is the exact process how it happens. Okay, so that's why don't programmer don't prefer to use. Okay, in inline keywords such as replacing a function call with its code reduce, okay, overhead reduce. Also what it does, code reusability decreases. I mean, you are not declaring and defining at a different uh, lines of code. Okay, you are doing at the same time. Inlining is a request not guaranteed by the compiler. Okay, so it is not effective. Okay, the compiler may do inlining if the function contains loop, recursion, static variable, switch, goto, and non-void functions. Okay, basically what it is talking is whenever your function is void, it will go up to you can use this function, you can go with this function as well. Okay, but when you have something like return type is not void, non-void return type, it's not perfect for that. You cannot use it. Okay, without a return statement. So whenever you have something in the return type, like as you can see this function we have, this function is nothing returning. It's not returning anything. That means you can also write down like void inline, or you just write inline. The both are same. Okay. It same thing happens in the constructor topic as well. We have already, we have already discussed this topic in the constructor, that constructor doesn't return anything. So here what is happening is this function works as a constructor. By default, it's work as a constructor. Now you're thinking what is exactly a constructor is. So I'll tell you something, that constructor is also kind of function. When you don't have anything for the return, when returning value is nothing, it's a null value, it's a void, then we use this function as a constructor. And if we are using any value, we are using any function as a constructor, no, I mean, all one conclusion I want to tell is all constructor are function. This is the conclusion. Make sure to listen carefully. Okay, all constructor are function, but not vice versa. Understood? That means whatever whatever constructor we have, it is a function. The function, whatever function we have, is no constructor anymore. So this is what I'm thinking, I'm telling you. Okay, and then try to understand this program. This is a very super easy easy peasy program. We have this header file. Hope you're understanding this header file. Okay, and then we have this function. Now you're thinking, Sakshi, is this a constructor or function? I'll tell you both are same at this condition. Okay, yeah, it will be similar, it will be, yeah, it will be same for this condition as I mean, if return type is nothing, it will work as a constructor. And also one thing that you have to note down is it's no constructor. In the constructor and in the function, same thing will be happen whenever your class name is similar. Like constructor, what is constructor? Constructor is a special types of function, right? That initialize some values, no return type. Okay, and its name is would be the similar as the class name. So if we don't have any class, you can say this, we don't have any class over there, right? So if we don't have any class, so we cannot say that it is a constructor. No, it's not constructor anymore. Okay, it is only function. And whose function is that? Inline function. Okay, so here in the example, as you can see that this is the main function, and yeah, we are calling this value. Okay, oh, I hope everybody is getting my point, right? So this is the actual argument. Okay, this is the actual argument, and what is it is, what is the value we are putting? This is the formal argument. Okay, so basically formal argument copy the value into the actual argument. I have already discussed this topic. Okay, and then in the result we can store this value. Okay, let's try to understand why we have to need it. It's not that much worthy as you use in the default function. In general, we use default function, na? So that is not that much worthy. So that's why we don't prefer to use that function. Okay. Okay, that's why we don't prefer to use it. Compilation, it will take. Let me explain you. Also expand code at compile time. Okay. The function contains a loop. Okay, making it large. We don't prioritize it because it's applicable for some condition. I mean, I'm just taking an example over here. There are two people over there, okay? The first person is not compatible with everybody. The second is compatible. I mean, more of the people prefer the second one. He can face every atmosphere, every people. I mean, he's gonna compatible with these and every people, right? So that's why a lot of people will prefer the second one over the first one, right? So this is how, not why people not use inline function rather than the default function as we use. This is also one of the reasons not to using it. Okay. So basically inline function is not that much important. How was that? I'll just tell you the syntax. I'll just tell you some of the properties. Its properties, behavior also. You can go through it. You can read down with your own choices. Actually, it's not that much useful, so that's why I'm not explaining you in depth. Okay. Otherwise, I'll make you another video as well for the inline function. Okay. Do let me know if you need this topic in depth. So I'll create another video for that. Okay. Why I'll be writing some sorts of code. Okay. I mean, I'll explain you on the compiler itself, not just definition. Actually, it's not that much important, so that's why I didn't explain this topic in depth. Whatever will be important, I'll be covering this topic in depth, okay? Because I have already some sort of knowledge. I'm not that much beginner, okay? This is a joke part actually, so that's all in this video. Okay, we'll be discussing a lot in the previous video. In the next video, we'll be discussing about which topic. Where is the tab? Okay. We'll be discussing the next upcoming topic in my upcoming videos. Okay, so that's all in this video.